Okay, my lovely, so we are working on the Midnight Pumpkin Patch and we have quite a few bits on this now, so I'm going to go through them a little bit with you and I'm going to explain them. So let me just move these bits out of the way and then we can talk about what we've been working on. So the last video that we did the pumpkin section, which was this lovely section here. Let me just fold that up and bring it over to you. So we worked up to about here. And then we're going to start working on the waffle, which will have another separate video because we'll be doing this as a standalone video for you to watch as a separate tutorial. And then we worked in, so that's the easy peasy panel. We've got 4 panels to work on. Excuse all of my bad housekeeping, which is cleaning, well, sewing in all my ends. That's going to be a mammoth task. So we have 4 panels. Each waffle section and the 3D stitch here will be 4 panels. There'll be 2 panels of this one and then there'll be 2 panels of the granny square. So look how bad that looks. Oh, don't look at that. To keep it simple. And then in between that we have some mini projects. So we're going to be working granny squares into our corner. Now yes, it is blowing a little bit, but when all the borders come together it will tighten it up as it has here. Okay, there will be a written pattern to this as well. And just as a guide, and I'll say it now and I will repeat it later, we will count these stitches here, and then when we come to do the border back in here, we will create our own little double crochet area here that will have the same amount of stitches as it will be in this bit, but we will go through that step at a time. There are some complex bits and you are going to either love me or hate me. And we have our 3D mushrooms. So we work a base, we work a top, and then we work back on the middle bit to create the 3D element of our little mushroom stitches. Again, this will be down to anchoring, it will be down to stitch placement, and it will be down to how you hold. So the anchoring is, when I say anchoring, it means how you hold your make. Are you holding it like you would a steering wheel, where you're just allowing it to slowly move through your hands, or you're releasing completely and losing your way? So anchoring is going to be essential, because you're going to need to hold it on while you're working and be able to move without releasing too much or coming away too much and losing your space. And then we've got some front post bits, so it gets a little bit easier after this bit. This bit's a bit tedious, I'll admit, but it's worth it if you want to. I will give you another option. So if you want to tackle this, you can, it will be there, but there will be an alternative row in order for you to move it on if you don't want to do the 3D stitch. So we will work through the other panel that I haven't completed, which will be this one here. And I have worked in my base. So I've noticed a mistake already, so I shall go back already. Ignore that bit there. We will work the base and I'll work from there, and we'll have a video on that to show you what to do. So we will be starting with turning chains, because we're going to be working on the turn on the panel. So it means we'll be working front and front facing and wrong side. Sorry, wrong side and right side, or front facing and back facing, whichever you want to call it. We'll work in a turning chain and a stitch into the same place, and we will continue repeating the pattern. It is a repeat of 7 stitches, so it works, the stitch itself works over 7 stitches. So you'll have 3 trebles and then 4 skipped. But again, all of the videos will explain all of these bits. And I shall pause the video here and we will restart on the next section, which is working in our base. Okay, so we're now changing colour to mauve, and we are now working on the top part of our mushroom. So this is stage 2. Now you can do 1 or 2 things at this stage. You can do this row and leave it at that. If you want to attempt stage 3, which is making the mushrooms 3D, obviously it's entirely up to you. You'll either love me or hate me for it, and it does require some patience, some resilience. You will have to persevere a little bit, but once you get the hang of it, it's fine. We are working in a 4mm hook for this section, stage 2. We're just going to take our hook through our turning chain space. So this was our turning chain and stitch here. We're just going to take it through there, anchor your wool. So just, you know, slip stitch, whichever, however you do it. You can, I've got lots of other videos doing this. I basically just, obviously I'm holding my wool in my left hand because I'm right-handed. I take my hook through, pick up my wool, pull through, and then just pull through again, and that allows me to then anchor that to there with a little bit of a knot. I'm going to just do 1 double crochet there, so I have something to work into when I come back. And then what we're going to do, my brain has just gone fuzzed. Hold on a second, hold the line. Right, now I have released my brain fog. We are going to chain 4 above. We're just going to mirror what's below, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we are going to create, you could call it a stitch together or a makeshift bobble, using the same principles of the stitch. So we are going to start in the chain space first, and we are going to work 1 bobble. So yarn over, pull your yarn through, use your finger to hold your stitch in place so it doesn't move all over the place and it's hard to find. Pull through 1, and then we're going to go 1, 2, into that one. I'll do 3, sorry, 3. So we're going to do 3 in each stitch. We should have 9 in total that have gone through into the stitch here. So we're going to move on to the next stitch, doing another 3 loops, like so. And then we're going to do another one into this one, another 3 into this one, sorry. Okay. Ooh. One, 2, another one there. And then just 1 on the outside again. So that you should have quite a few. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in total. Pull your yarn all the way through so that it comes together like so. And then you do a chain basically to bring it all together like that. And then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, like so. Okay, so the stage after that is we'll be bringing them together and working into those spaces. So kind of come to grips with what you have in front of you, because you are going to be working in between these spaces here. Okay, and then once you've done your 4, you do the same again. So yarn over into the chain space, and you do your next, then you start your loops, 3 loops into each stitch head. So that's 1, 2, 3, that. Okay, so you've got 3 loops into that 1 stitch head. Can you see that? And then you do the same again. And the same again. So this stage is pretty simple, really. So like I say, if you struggle with the next stage, you can leave it here if you like. Just doing the mushroom heads if you're happy with that. Oops. Now if that happens, don't worry. Just realign yourself, get comfortable, and just count again. Just take your time. Be patient with yourself. You can do this. It's just a fight against yourself, really. So just be mindful. It's not a race. You don't have to be as fast as me. You don't have to be as fast as anybody. The whole point of crocheting and doing anything crafty is just getting to the end goal. If you can get to the end goal, then you're onto a winner. Okay? Move that down a little bit. And again, it's about moving things around as well, so they look how you want them to look. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that should be 4 across the top, like so. Okay. Okay, and welcome to stage 3 of our mushroom. At this stage, I would probably say on every stage when there's lots of bits like this, sew them in, get them out of the way. The reason why they're here for me and I'm being a bit messy is because I'm trying to speed along, trying to get videos done, because this is kind of been an impromptu or spontaneous addition to this pattern of the Midnight Garden. So I'm going to double crochet. So I've anchored into here, which is the base of where we started on the last row. I'm going to go around here and just create a double crochet there, and then I'm just going to chain 1, 2, 3 there, just so it gives me enough distance to get to there. And then I'm going to crochet, double crochet. So I'm going to take, so working in the base now, this is the bit that's complex. So I'm going to do my best to communicate with you on how to do this, because I've kind of invented this myself. So take your hook behind the stem of your mushroom, yarn over there, and then just pull that yarn all the way back to here. So you have 2 loops like that. Pick up your yarn again, and then just finish it off with a double crochet like so. Then we're going to take our hook. I'm going to bring this in a little bit closer. Take your hook underneath the double crochet that we've made just there, and then I want you to work into the center of our the 2 loops that we made there. So it sits between them. Can you see that? So I've pulled the loops apart and it's just there. Now you can go slightly above the 2 loops that you did and work that way. And we're only doing double crochet, so 1 that way and then another there. And you don't have to be extremely tight either. And then go back under your loop and look for the next 2 loops and work your next 2 double crochets like that. Okay, and then just move across, find the next, move the next 2 loops over, and then work in between them. Probably easier to find it at the top because that's where they're looser. Do 1, once you've got 1 in, it's easy to find the second one, and then work that way. Then move the next 2 over, if you can find them, and then yarn over again and do your double crochets, working through the center, and then again do the same there. 1. Oh, I've finished that one off a little bit too soon, and then there's 2 in there, and then just move those 2 over, and this will be your last one because you don't need to go around there like so. And then just finish with a double crochet, oh sorry, a slip knot there, and then 1, 2, oh, 1, 2 there. Let's have a look, see how it looks. There we go. Can you see that? So let's just do a few more because this is again about stitch placement. So we've done a slip knot there, and then we're going to go underneath. So we've done a slip knot here and we've chained 2. So let's just check. 1, 2, 3, sorry, 3. We're going to go back under here and pick up our yarn, pull it back round, and then pull it through. Now we are working on a smaller hook for this wool, so you may find that happens quite a bit. Now let's just put down our wool for a second and have a look at our bobble. So we are going to be working, so you can see where we did our going through the first 2 loops here because there's more of a twist there. Okay, then what I want you to do is we've got 1, 2 loops there, and we're going to work in the loop that sits, so you can see where we've done the 2 loops there, there's a loop there and a space here, and that's what we're going to work into. So push those 2 loops aside and then work into there. Realign your wool, go underneath, and you work, so so go through this part here just to get to it. So where are we? Yeah, there we are. It's a bit fiddly, I know. Hang on a second, I'm telling you everything wrong here. That doesn't feel right. Okay, so we need to work here. Okay, so back underneath, go through between those two loops just for our starting point, and pull through, double crochet, up again, same place, do the same again. Okay, and then move 2 loops to the side, 1, 2, and then do the same again, move 2 to the side, 1, 2, and then, like I say, it can look messy, but when you put it all together, it comes together. It's one of those things you've got to kind of persevere on. Like I say, I've put this stitch together myself. I haven't seen anybody else do this method. I may be wrong, I may be right. I don't really care because I like the way the mushrooms have turned out for me. Now, it's just a case of practice, practice, practice. If you want to practice this on a scrap piece of wool, a sample piece that you could make yourself, you can still use the same principles to do it. And you can see how it creates this bud. And it's going to look neater as we go. So trust the process. It's not going to look like this one just yet, because that's had more rows on top of it to finish it off and to frame it. And yours will look the same when you get to that point too. So just trust the process that it's going to look like that eventually. This is just the foundation stage really. So you just need to trust it a little bit more. Okay, so it's slip knot behind there, just to pull it together and finish it off. So let's just count how many stitches we have, so we can know. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then we've got our slip knot. So we've got 11 double crochets worked back in. Sorry, 12 double crochets worked back in plus a slip knot. Because I couldn't quite see that one there. So there you go. Lovely. And then it's just a case of chain 3. So we've got some movement because we don't want it too tight between the stitches, and then you just work that repeat again until you get to the end. And like I say, it is fiddly. If you want to leave it where it is, you can. You don't have to follow this little more complex route. Again, I'm trying to show you with that. So if you can see where I'm placing the stitches. So I've gone under the stem that I've made, and you can either go through the back of your stem and work it that way if you want, or you can work through the stitch heads if that helps guide you better. I personally like going through the back of the stem because I can just find my way through at the top. Oh, and again, the amount of double crochets you have on each mushroom is not really going to be here nor there, because it's just about creating the texture and the dome. Oh, so I've lost my stitch. So if you do that, just come back out, pull out, and see we've got a random loop sticking out. So have I done 2 into that? Yeah, so 2 into there. And then we need to finish off the back here to neaten that up. And obviously once you come to the end, it gets even more fiddly because there isn't really much room under the double crochet that we've made. And then go back under and then finish off with your, well, let's do a double crochet because it looks neater. And then 1, 2, 3. So it's kind of freestyling in a way, because you'll kind of know whether your mushroom needs more or not. But generally, I would say keep 2 double crochets together so you get this nice kind of finish. It's not always going to be the same. Some look better than others. You know, it's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. and then the last one do a double crochet, and then you slip knot. So let's just do one more. Like looking at our base, we can see our loops quite clearly. We're going to work between the loops sitting here first to pull it round. Okay, so let's do that double crochet round that stem to pull it together, and then underneath and through the back of your stem, so you're poking out there. Take your hook through and do 2 at a time. Once you found your first one, let's push it through, and then you can pull it back through. As you can see, anchoring is essential. The way in which you're holding you make, so you're deciding where things go. I'm already moving it with my thumb before I've even got there with my hook to make the space more, and once I do that, it's much easier. I'll move it across, find my space again, and again you can see how much easier it is when I make the space with my fingers. Move it across again so I can find that space. Oops, she says. And again, it's much easier to navigate through. So anchoring isn't just about holding your wool, it's helping yourself to navigate through where it is you need to work. Now, I do apologise if you can hear any background noise. I do have my family here and my grandson downstairs, and I can hear him pitching a fit. So if you can hear it in the background, I do apologise. Unfortunately, that's the joys of having a family-run business. And one last double crochet there, I think, and then a slip stitch. So I am freestyling it a little bit, and you can do. Oh, I can hear him coming up the stairs. Can you? Right, I'm going to pause here because I know what's going to happen next. So guys, as it goes, I missed out a step with the mushrooms, so hopefully you'll watch this video before you started and then you'll know what to do. So take your base again, so you have your, oh, do you know what I didn't do? I didn't do me three chains, sorry. So I've done my slip knot and I've done 3 chains. Take it round the base like so, and then to start with, what we're going to do is we're going to do 1 double crochet right here. So we have our mushroom base there, we have our chain space here, our slip knot there that we did before we did our double crochet, and we're going to do a quick double crochet back through there just to pull this area in, because that bunches it together nicely. This one sits a little bit odd. So to bunch it in, that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to work our 2 double crochets between our first 2 loops. So there we go. And then we're going to continue doing that between each 2 loops. And making sure that we don't go under that little loop there. Can you see where my finger is there? There's one there. You need to go into the space above it, like so, and work it that way. And the same again, making sure you're going above that part there, and then there we go. And the same again between these 2. Oh, let's make sure that, well, see how that kind of moved across there like that, and then I would have pulled it in, it would have looked weird. So you need just to make sure your wool moves slightly, and then like so, and then you have these back ones just here, like so, and then you do your last double crochet as if you're doing the beginning one like you did there, to bunch it together on the other side. Sorry, my blanket's weighing heavy on me again. Oh my goodness, it's a big blanket. On that side there. And then once we've done that, we can move everything around a little bit more. Slip stitch just there to hold it together. So you can move things around, bunch them around, make it a little bit more. And you can see how that is nicer because it's pulling it together a little bit more on either side, so it bunches together nicely. Slip stitch and then, oops, 1, 2, 3, like so. A little bit of a imperfection there in the wool. And you can see how they've got those little mushrooms. And they look really nice on that side, look. So let's just count those stitches. We should have 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Hang on, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Double crochet there, and a slip stitch. And that's pretty much it, I think. And that'll just pull it together a little bit nicer. You can see how the back of it, you can see how they've created more of those bobble stitches, and they've kind of come together to do that. Right, so it's just a case of working our way to the end. I've got quite a bit to go. Like I say, if you want to keep it simple like this, you can. It doesn't make any difference. If you want to bring all three, if you decide that it's too difficult, bring your base and have all three together like a granny square cluster if you want. Or you can stitch them together to bring one and do it that way. So there's a couple of ways to do it if you want that to be close together. So it looks a bit, I can't think of the word. But yeah, there you go anyway. And I'm going to, like I say, pause here and continue to the end again.